Mature audience. It contains coarse language.
Vibrating the flag, I hurt many people.
Tonight on Compass, from riot to redemption, along the Kokoda track.
Recognising does a lot. Like, it can change the whole country.
Can you give me a hand? Ready?
It's just not going to work if we keep hating each other.
And thank you for joining me. Tonight we conclude our two-part examination of Australian patriotism with a remarkable story you won't easily forget. We follow a young man who accepts a pretty tough challenge to atone for his actions during the Cronulla riots, and we watch a gradual build towards his moment of truth. Along the way, we find out why he did what he did, and a whole lot more. Questions that strike at the heart of what we Australians really aspire to at our core. A week of simmering racial tensions boiled over into mob violence today in a beachside suburb of Cronulla.
It's our beach, Aussie's beach. Thank you, Joe.
December 2005. Racial tensions flare up in Sydney's southern suburbs. There were so many provocative acts, but one incident in particular would focus the anger of the media. A teenage boy tore down an Australian flag from the roof of the Brighton RSL, threw it to his mates and burnt it.
Why would you go and pick on the symbol of your nation to do something that despicable to it? It's a symbol of us as a people.
Thinking about it now, like, it wasn't a good idea. But, yeah, at that time, like, I don't know, we just wanted to show how angry we were.
A Sydney teenager who burnt an Australian flag will now carry one in next year's Anzac Day parade.
But this offer of reconciliation soon became a catastrophe.
I don't want that person anywhere near my flag.
Instead of peeing on the flag, they should pee on him.
I felt like, did I hurt this much people? What I'd done, like something so small but so effective.
Ali spent several months in juvenile detention for his crimes. But far from destroying his life, it set him on a new path. A path that's helping him reassess his life, his flag, and his country. And now it's about to lead him to the greatest challenge of his life: walking the legendary Kokoda track.
Why are you here? Because I guarantee over the next 10 days you're going to hit the wall. Physically, you're going to get to a point where you're going to wonder if you can go on. If you know the reason you're here, you'll keep going.
I'm here because I want to know about Kokoda. I am really patriotic about Australia, and this is where Australia fought off the Japanese invasion.
Main reason I came over is just challenge myself and just learn about people that fought before us and just figure out what it was like for them.
Don't ask me why I decided to do it. I'm a bit crazy and thought it'd be a fun idea.
I often represent Australia. I come out...
This group is about to set off on an incredible journey. They've all been sponsored by Australian RSL clubs who believe the experience could change their lives. Some are high achievers. Others have had a more checkered past.
Yeah, the reason why I come on this challenge is I got voted in by the Wagga RSL club. Yeah, I was a hectic kid.
I want to see what happens when I hit the wall, if I can go through it, and when everyone else hits the wall, if I can pull them through it.
Hi, my name's Ali.
Ali is here as a bold gesture by the RSL, an attempt to mend some of the damage caused by the Cronulla riots.
And I think I'm here to learn about Australian qualities and Australian history, basically.
But none of his new friends know who he is or what he's done.
And I heard that this track by the time this track finishes, it should make me a better man.
the next 10 days, the trekkers will experience a real test of physical endurance. Heat, humidity, primitive conditions, and no days off.
What we're going to do now is you're going to go along and you're going to introduce the boys.
A team of local carriers will look after the camping and the cooking, but the trekkers will be expected to carry their own packs. It's well organised, but no holiday. The track runs from Kokoda to Owers Corner near Port Moresby. It's only about 100 kilometres, but they'll be hiking through some of the most inaccessible and punishing terrain on Earth.
Ali, yeah, mate.
Where's the behind you, Ali?
The trekkers are expecting it to be tough, but what they may not realise is just how emotional this journey will be. Because they'll be following in the footsteps of an earlier group of young Australians who found themselves here 65 years ago. It's 1942, and a Japanese invasion force has landed in New Guinea. Their aim? To take Port Moresby and be in striking distance of Australia. All that stands between is a small band of largely irregular soldiers, the militia. Ill-equipped and poorly trained, they've slogged for days over the mountains to meet the enemy at Kokoda. Over 3 months, they'll resist the Japanese. Their stories of determination, of courage and mateship will burn into the Australian psyche to rival Gallipoli.
Yeah. Oh, no, some horses just mad as fuck, but that's the only way.
This quiet, beautiful place 65 years ago was just was a slaughterhouse. And, some men that the country doubted stepped forward, the militia, the chocos. They stepped up, and somehow I believe that these young guys we've got on the track, when they're asked to, they'll step up. And that's all they need is belief, opportunity and belief. And that's, I believe, what we can give them, both of those on the track. This is the Kokoda Plateau. This is where the Kokoda campaign started and finished. Now we're going to follow the battle from this end as the Australians retreated up through Issarava, Yora Creek.
Team leader John Nalder has walked Kokoda many times. He's become an expert on the people and places that give the track meaning.
The purpose of this is to, bring the history to you, create an interest, and most importantly, expose you to the opportunity to learn some lessons for your life. It's going to hit them from so many degrees. One, the physical challenge of it strips away the veneer of their day-to-day life. The people, the carriers, will touch them enormously, and that'll touch them emotionally. And then the history. So it's really threefold. It becomes almost a spiritual experience when you combine those.
It's a long way from what Ali's used to. The suburbs of Sydney and a Lebanese Muslim upbringing.
When I was a kid, growing up in Australia it was sort of weird because I used to have different lunch to everyone else, and they'd have birthday parties and things like that, or just places they'll go different to us.
He's a brilliant boy. He was a very polite, very active, brave little kid. He always jumps in front of you doing things and that. And top soccer player. When he moved to high school, he started mixing up with the wrong crowd, I think. Smoking, girls and alcohol.
Always go out on the weekend, go have fun with the friends, spend my money, things like that, just to have a good time mainly. Because as I was a kid, I was hardly allowed out and things like that. I don't know, sort of my dad's upbringing was no friends, no going out, things like that. And when I was sort of caged in for that long, I just burst.